Hello everyone! Today I will teach you about linear inequalities in two variables. Our objectives, we are going to differentiate linear inequalities in two variables from linear equations in two variables and illustrate and graph linear inequalities in two variables. The difference between linear equations in two variables and linear inequalities in two variables. A linear equation in two variables relates a linear expression with the equality sign. Okay, pag linear equation, we use the equality sign, equal sign, or equal symbol. A linear inequality in two variables relates a linear expression with the inequality sign. So, yung ating mga inequality sign is less than, is greater than, is less than or equal to, and is greater than or equal to. So, the graph of a linear equation in two variables divides the coordinate plane into three. First, all points above the line called a half plane. Second, all points below the line called a half plane. Third, all points on the line itself is a boundary of each half plane. So, pag-graph ng ating linear equation in two variables, so it looks like this only. We have a boundary line, the half plane above the line, and the half plane below the line. So, ito lang yung graph ng ating linear equation in two variables. The graph or the solution set of a strict inequality in two variables includes all points on one side of the line. So, pag yung ating inequality ay strict inequality, the graph or yung solution set natin ay makikita lamang or all points can be seen only on one side of the line. One side of the line only. Hindi kasama yung line or yung boundary line. So, sa isang side lamang ng half plane, whether it is above or below the line. If the inequality is not strict, the graph includes all points on one side of the line and all the points on the line as well. So, pag yung ating inequality naman ay not strict, so yung graph or yung solution set natin ay ang lahat ng points on one side of the line kasama yung points na nasa line mismo. So, the graphs of linear inequalities are illustrated by shading the part of the coordinate plane that satisfies the inequality. So, sa linear equation in two variables, hindi tayo nag-shade ng ating half plane. Dito, sa linear inequalities in two variables, nag-shade tayo ng part ng coordinate plane that satisfies the inequality. If the inequality is strict, uses is less than or is greater than. The line is not part of the graph and is illustrated as a broken or dashed line. So, pag strict yung inequality, so titingnan lang natin yung ating inequality symbol ay is less than or is greater than. So, the line is not part of the graph. So, yung line ay hindi part ng graph. Only one side of the line. So, gumagamit tayo pag nag-graph na tayo, yung line natin ay broken or dash line. Okay, pag ito yung ating symbol na makikita sa ating linear inequality in two variables, we use broken or dash line. Okay, for example, so ito yung graph ng ating inequality na strict inequality. So, automatic, pag ito yung graph natin, yung ating inequality symbol ay is less than or is greater than 2. Okay, so, this is the graph of y is greater than x. So, yung ating inequality symbol is greater than. So, broken or dash line yung ating boundary line. Okay, so use a broken or dashed line if the inequality uses is less than or is greater than. So this is called an open half plane. If the inequality is not strict, it uses is less than or equal to or is greater than or equal to. So, not strict inequality, ito naman yung ating inequality sign na gamit. Is less than or equal to or is greater than or equal to. So, pag ito yung ating inequality sign, the line is part of the graph and is illustrated as a solid line. So, yung graph natin dito o yung boundary line natin ay solid line. Hindi siya broken line. Basta ito yung ating inequality sign or symbol na makikita sa ating linear inequality in two variables. So, yung graph natin ay solid line. Okay. So, ito yung graph ng ating not strict inequality. So, kasama ang lahat ng solution set ay makikita dito sa below the line. So, ito yung half plane na tinatawag below the line at kasama din ang boundary line. So, dito, meron din tayo ditong solution set kasi yung ating inequality symbol na gamit ay is less than or equal to or is greater than or equal to. So, solid line. Kasama yung line sa solution set. Okay, so this is the graph of y is less than or equal to x. Use a solid line if the inequality uses is less than or equal to or is greater than or equal to. So this is called a closed half plane. Steps in graphing a linear inequality. First, graph the related linear equation. Use a broken or dashed line if the inequality uses is less than or is greater than. Use a solid line if the inequality uses is less than or equal to or is greater than or equal to. Second, test a point in a half plane to see if it satisfies the given inequality. If the point satisfies the given inequality, shade the half plane containing the test point. So, pag nasatisfy ng ating test point, yung given na inequality, magsishade tayo sa half plane that contains the test point. So, if the point fails to satisfy the inequality, shade the other half plane that does not contain the test point. So, pag hindi niya na-satisfy yung ating inequality, shade the other half plane that does not contain the test point. Doon tayo sa kabila mag-shade kung saan wala doon yung ginamit nating test point. Okay, so we have a tip, the origin with coordinates 0, 0. So, ito yung origin natin. X is 0, Y is 0, if not on the boundary line. So, pag yung graph natin ay hindi makikita sa boundary line or hindi makikita sa ating origin mismo, is easiest to use as a test point. So, ito yung gamitin natin as a test point, yung coordinates 0, 0. Third, shade the half plane that satisfies the inequality. Then, we are going to shade the half plane that satisfies the inequality. Okay, graph the inequality y is greater than or equal to x plus 2. So, to graph the inequality, first we have to change the inequality symbol into equal sign or equal symbol. So, y is equal to x plus 2. Next, construct your table of values. So, x, the middle is 0, then the left side is negative 1. According sa ating number line, sa right side ng 0, we have positive 1. So, we can use only three values for x. Okay? So, we assign the values of x, negative 1, 0, and positive 1. Now, we have to solve the values of y using the linear equation y is equal to x plus 2. So, ito yung gamitin natin yung equal sign or yung linear equation. Wag ito yung linear inequality natin. Okay, y is equal to x plus 2. So, solve for y is equal to, so substitute the value of x, negative 1 plus 2. Then, y is equal to, so negative 1 plus 2, we have positive 1. So, when x is negative 1, y is positive 1. Next, solve for y when x is 0. So, y is equal to x plus 2. Substitute 0 for x, we have y is equal to 0 plus 2. Then, add 0 and 2, we have y is equal to positive 2. So, when x is 0, y is positive 2. Next, or the last table of values, we have x is positive 1. So, substitute y equals 1 plus 2. Y is equal to 1 plus 2, that is 3. So, when x is 1, y is positive 3. Okay, we already complete our table of values. When x is negative 1, y is positive 1. When x is 0, y is positive 2. When x is positive 1, y is positive 3. Now, we can now graph the inequality in the Cartesian plane. So, plot the points. X is negative 1. So, x is the horizontal line. Ang ating x-axis, ito yung ating horizontal line. Y-axis, vertical line. So, x is negative 1. Dito makita yung negative 1. Then, y is positive 1. So, dito. Negative 1, positive 1. Next, 0, 2. So, yung x natin 0, dito 0. Then, yung y is positive 2. So, ito yung y, positive 2. Next, x is positive 1. So, ito yung positive 1 sa x-axis. Then, yung y is positive 3. So, dito naman yung ating y-axis positive 3. Okay, then, after plotting the points, we can connect the points by a line. Okay, draw a line to connect the points. So, we use solid line. Why? Because the inequality sign is greater than or equal to. So, solid line yung ating boundary line na ginamit. Alright. So, meron na tayong graph. Okay? Now, paano natin malalaman kung saan tayong half plane mag-shade? Kung dito ba sa upper or sa lower part ng ating boundary line. So, as you can see, yung boundary line natin ay hindi dito sa ating origin mismo. So, hindi siya dito sa ating origin mismo. Therefore, we can use coordinates 0, 0 as a test point. Right. So, gamitin natin yung 0, 0 as a test point. So, using the linear inequality in two variables, y is greater than or equal to x plus 2. So, ito yung gamitin natin, yung ating linear inequality kanina, yung original natin na linear inequality in two variables. Wag ito yung may equal sign. Okay? Ginagamit lang natin ito to change the inequality symbol to equal sign para malaman natin kung ano yung value ng y once we assign values for x. Then, we can graph. Okay? So, now, to test if saan tayong half plane mag-shade, we have to use yung original natin, y is greater than or equal to x plus 2. Okay? So, using test points 0, 0, so we can use this kasi yung ating boundary line ay hindi naman dito sa origin makikita. Okay, so x is 0, y is 0. So, y is 0 is greater than or equal to, x is also 0, so 0 plus 2. Next, so add 0 and 2, copy 0 is greater than or equal to 0 plus 2, we have 2. So, sabi dito, 0 is greater than or equal to 2 daw. Okay, so this is false. So, the inequality fails, or the test point fails to satisfy the inequality because 0 is not greater than or equal to 2. Okay, so since 0, 0 yung ginamit nating test point, yung 0, 0 dito makikita. Okay, so it fails the inequality. Therefore, dito tayo sa kabila mag shade. Okay. Next, graph the inequality x plus 2y is less than 4. Okay, so first change the inequality sign into equal sign. So we have x plus 2y equals 4. Construct your table of values. X is negative 1, 0, 1. Let us solve for the values of y when x is negative 1. So, substitute negative 1 plus 2y equals 4. Then, dito meron tayong negative 1 plus 2y sa left side. So, yung negative 1, we have to transpose negative 1 sa right side. So, copy 2y is equal to 4, then plus 1. Next, 2y equals 4 plus 1, we have 5. Then, to find the value of y, divide both sides by 2. Dividing both sides by 2, 2y divided by 2, we have 1y or y. Then, 5 divided by 2, we have 5 halves. Okay, so when x is negative 1, y is 5 halves. Yung 5 halves is equivalent to 2 and 1 half. Okay, next, when x is 0, let us find y. Okay, so x plus 2y equals 4. Substitute 0 plus 2y equals 4. Okay, 0 plus 2y, we have 2y equals 4. Then, to find the value of y, divide 2 both sides of the equation. 2y divided by 2, 4 divided by 2. So, 2y divided by 2, we have 1y, or y is equal to 4 divided by 2, we have 2. So, y is 2. So, when x is 0, y is 2. Next, let us solve for y when x is positive 1. Okay, substitute 1 plus 2y equals 4. Then, 2y is equal to 4. Then, yung positive 1, transpose natin sa right side. So, it becomes negative 1. So, 2y equals 4 minus 1. We have positive 3. 2y equals 3. Then, divide both sides by 2. 2y divided by 2 and 3 divided by 2. So, 2y divided by 2, we have y. Then, 3 divided by 2, so we have 3 halves. Okay, so 3 halves is equal to 1 and 1 half. So, when x is positive 1, y is 3 halves. Alright. Next, graph the points on the Cartesian plane. So, we have to plot the points on a Cartesian plane. So, when x is negative 1, ito yung x natin, negative 1, y is 5 halves. So, positive 5 halves. 5 halves is located between 2 and 3. Okay, so positive 2 and 1 half. 5 halves is equal to 2 and 1 half. So, between 2 and 3. Next, when x is 0, yung y is positive 2. So, ito yung x natin 0, then yung y is positive 2. Next, x is positive 1, then yung y natin ay 3 halves. So, 3 halves is 1 and 1 half. So, 1 and 1 half is located between 1 and 2. So, dito makita yung ating 1 and 1 half. Next, connect the points. Okay, connect the points by a line. So, our boundary line is a broken or dashed line. Kasi yung ating inequality sign ay is less than. Next, so, yung ating boundary line ay hindi naglay sa ating origin. So, dito siya makita, hindi sa origin. Therefore, to test if saan tayong half plane mag-shade, kung dito ba sa lower half plane or dito sa upper half plane. So, we can use 0, 0 as a test point. Okay, so using the linear inequality in two variables, x plus 2y is less than 4. So, x is 0 plus 2 times y. So, y is 0. 2 times 0 is less than 4. Then, 0 plus 2 times 0, we have 0 is less than 4. 0 is less than 4. So, that is correct. So, the test point satisfies the inequality. So, nasatisfy niya yung ating inequality. 0 is really less than 4. So, therefore, dito tayo mag-shade sa ating half plane containing 0, 0. Kasi meron ditong 0, 0. Dito siya makikita yung ating test point na 0, 0.